At our age, if you say you do not want children, you're often met with shock and disapproval. In our society, it's not really expected that we won't want to pass our name along to the next generation. If you and your partner decide you want to adopt, again, you're met with even more questions, such as, don't you want a child that is actually yours, or don't you think they become a problem child because they spent time in the foster care system? It seems that everyone cares about an unborn, barely humanoid fetus more than refugees, poverty-stricken children, or those already in the foster care system. In this speech, I will address the factors behind abortion, the exceptions made for the rules, and the facts influencing opinions, and why the government should not have a say in these decisions. Aborting fetuses is not just done for the fun of it. It is often done because parents could not provide good life after the birth, or do not think that they would be happy with the child after it. Many critics always say that adoption is always an option, but this is just simply not true. According to the Adoption and Foster Care Analysis and Reporting System, there are currently 415,219 children already in the foster care system. This overcrowding makes it especially hard to place them in loving, caring homes that they could remain in until adulthood. If parents do decide to keep the child because of the restrictions of the law, the child could grow up to realize that the parents do not love it. This could cause extensive emotional trauma and cognitive development to be halted. If no emotional abuse is present, there could be physical abuse, which is possibly even worse. Statistics from the Child Information Welfare Agency estimate that about 1,740 kids per year die from parental abuse or neglect. If you are forced to raise an unwanted child, it could just breed resentment toward an innocent child that just doesn't deserve that. Although abortion is not ideal, it is realistic and the most popular decision among modern parents. When you do allow for abortion in cases of rape or incest, enforcement of the law becomes difficult. Leniency leads to justification of killing some fetuses but not others. Once you start putting value of some lives above the value of others, it gets into a sticky situation. Again, if the wife of an alcoholic becomes pregnant, is that pregnancy any more unwanted than a pregnancy caused by rape or incest? Could be argued that it's not. Also, medical danger permits abortion, and when you're weighing the life of the mother against the life of the infant, then the mother always wins. Once you consider the mental and physical health of a pregnancy, it should also be considered that abortion could be the best option. Some women feel actual hate or disgust toward their unborn baby, and it's just based on gut instinct. When you're forced to carry something alien and unhuman to you, it is just inconsiderate towards a mother, and a great dissatisfaction that could be caused. And again, afterbirth changes should be considered. Many women cannot feel the same way about their bodies after, and it causes unnecessary strain on the relationships. The main pro-life argument is that procedures done for abortion are disgusting on all levels. There are three main types of abortion used in the US and in most countries that actually participate with abortion. The three types are early pregnancy or medical abortion, the suction curettage, and dilation and evacuation. In the early pregnancy, it's usually done before 49 gestation days, and it's a pill, but it's different than Plan B. It causes a miscarriage feeling or like a heavy period, so it's very, very popular among women. Although this is less reliable, it is more preferred. The next type, the suction curettage, most physicians will not perform it before or after a certain period to limit the amount of complications both for the mother and for the infant. This involves suctioning out the infant from the uterus and disposing of the remains. The third one is dilation and evacuation, and it is usually done in later pregnancies, usually in the second or early third trimester. It involves larger forceps and is seen as the most inhumane. What most people do not realize, however, is that anesthesia is used. Although anesthesia is used only for the mother because of the way that the placenta and the blood flow works between mother and fetus, the anesthesia does impact the fetus and makes it numbed or desensitized to any pain that it might feel. So once you consider that the possible pain of the fetus is minimal or non-existent, and consider that the fetus is in no actual pain, it disproves that the abortion is torture theory. And next, the government tries to intervene in many aspects of life, and it isn't always successful. And while the parties remain divided, there are overall trends that must be noted. The House of Representatives has 362 men and 76 women, while the Senate has 83 men and 17 women. It is not correct to assume that these men did not earn their positions. I'm sure they have many qualifications and earned them rightfully and through democratic ways, but a male-dominated association that is trying to regulate female medical and reproductive rights should be unsettling to many more people. They are trying to pass many regulations and limitations on the rights of a population that they have very little intimate knowledge of. Also, these anti-abortion arguments that are being passed are largely rooted in religious beliefs which have no right to be involved in government due to the rule of separation of church and state. And when the lawmakers outlaw abortion, they make all the responsibility on for the parents, and then they can step back and claim that they have no responsibility to take care of the children after they are born. It seems that legislators also care more about the unborn fetuses, more than hundreds of thousands of poor, starving, alive and suffering children. And this is why it proves that they are not protectors of those without a voice, yet just use this as a cover-up for their beliefs. All right, and in total, the percent of abortions has decreased since the 1970s, and it also shows that restrictions on abortions increase maternal mortality but do not increase the total number of abortions performed. The increase in maternal mortality is caused by making it harder to find competent doctors who are willing to do the procedure. So if it has proved that bans do not work, why should we keep forcing women to go to unsafe and unqualified doctors to get a procedure? Not worrying about the ban should call for safety regulations and minimum standards of care to ensure the health of all women is protected. If reducing the deaths is the ultimate goal for pro-life advocates, they should settle for saving the mother's life rather than losing both lives. And although this is a highly debated topic, women's rights should be more recognized in the political world. I advise you to consider another position that is different from yours and another point of view that could be different. A solution for you could be a problem for the next person.